Great. Well, hello, everyone, and good morning. My name is Jennifer Kogan. I am a primary care general internist about why direct observation is important. We have a few individuals who thought this was a 9, and then we also have folks who have rated it as low as a 3. We call this poor inter-rater reliability.
Welcome to ACGME's module on multi-source feedback, an approach to assess the other important competencies of interpersonal skills and communication, professionalism, and elements of systems-based practice. It is especially important for assessing and supporting professional development in what we affectionately call the other competencies. In other words, the non-patient care and medical knowledge competencies. This image shows all the potential individuals involved in healthcare who could provide an assessment of a resident or fellow. Self-assessment can also be part of the multi-source feedback process. While it is beyond the scope of this module to discuss a specific approach to patient surveys and other methods of obtaining their input, it is important to note that patients and patient families are essential to complete a comprehensive multi-source feedback process. It is hard to truly assess patient-centeredness without asking patients about their experience with care. This is an example of the systems-based practice harmonized milestone, one that focuses specifically on system navigation for patient-centered care. As you look across the two top threads that move from level 1 to level 5, you can see how getting assessments from multiple and different members of the interprofessional team are absolutely essential to assess coordination and transitions of care. This diagram highlights the causal chain between teaching and assessing communication skills and improved intermediate and longer-term health outcomes for patients. For instance, we know that when patients see physicians who have better communication skills, patients experience increased self-efficacy, they experience better informed decision-making, and they also have increased adherence to recommended therapies. This all translates into improved biologic outcomes, such as improved blood pressure control or better controlled diabetes, for example. Levinson and colleagues' article, Developing Physician Communication Skills for Patient-Centered Care, published in Health Affairs in 2010, provides useful background reading for your work with multi-source feedback. Evidence shows that its benefits are widespread. Tyrone Donnan and colleagues wrote a systematic review of 43 articles for the validity and reliability of multi-source feedback. Jocelyn Lockyer, a research leader in implementing multi-source feedback in Canada, recommends following 3 key steps in implementing multi-source feedback. These are assessing program readiness for multi-source feedback, identifying an effective multi-source tool for your program, and testing the tool with your program stakeholders. The first step is crucial. You will need to assess program readiness to start a multi-source feedback process. That involves the learners throughout this process using the mindset of co-production. View your learners as partners in the implementation process. The second step is to identify or develop an effective multi-source assessment for your program. Three tools have undergone study, and there is some evidence that supports the effectiveness of their use. The first is the Teamwork Effectiveness Assessment Module. Another web-based multi-source instrument that has been developed for assessing interprofessional collaboration is the Interprofessional Professionalism Collaboratives, or IPC, multi-source feedback tool. Finally, there are also other multi-source feedback tools that may be of utility to programs, which we encourage you to explore. We provide these additional tools once again on the module's reference list. In summary, we hope that this overview of the rationale for and utility of multi-source feedback tools for assessing the competencies of communication and interpersonal skills, as well as professionalism and systems-based practice, has been helpful as you develop your program of assessment. Outfitted with this information, we encourage you to get started on implementing a multi-source assessment tool that suits your specific needs and provides you with the opportunity to make the most out of the value it brings to residents, fellows, and programs. Thank you for taking the time to complete this module, and thank you for all you do in graduate medical education.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second Clinician Educator Journal Club of 2025.
I have them here in my office with me, and I can just write some things down on them if I'm creating one of these on the fly.
So thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Welcome to Part 1, Preparing an Application for Program Accreditation. This is Part 1 of this series, where you will learn how to prepare for the completion of an ACGME application. When you are ready, click Start. Here, we would like to point out a few features available to you throughout this entire module. If you would like to visit a specific slide, you can click any of the menu items to the left of the module screen. To review acronyms used, you can click Glossary. By the end of this module, you will be able to prepare materials prior to applying, identify the key steps in the application process, and review the application process timeline. Click Next to continue. The process for submitting a new program application is organized into 5 steps. In this module, we are reviewing steps 1 through 3. Click Next to continue. The common application, the specialty-specific application, and the attached documents. All information required for the program application. Now let's explore the general timeline of the program accreditation application process. It typically takes a program 6 to 12 months to gather the necessary information and complete the program application. After the program submits the application, it can take as little as 4 months or up to 12 months if a site visit is required for the relevant review committee to make an accreditation decision. Click Next to continue. Let's explore how you can build your own timeline for submitting your application. Click each button to learn more. First, determine a realistic timeline for completion and submission of the application. Welcome to Part 3, Understanding the Review Process for an Application for Program Accreditation. In Step 1, the review committee team receives the application in ADS. Once the designated institutional official, or DIO, of the sponsoring institution submits the program application in ADS, the review committee staff will be notified and will begin processing it for review. Click Next to continue. The review committee found the program not to be in substantial compliance with the program requirements. It will confer a status of accreditation withheld. This status means the program is not accredited and will need to submit a new application if it would like to continue to pursue ACGME accreditation. If a program that received an accreditation status of accreditation withheld reapplies for accreditation within 2 years of the effective date of the decision, it must respond to all citations from the first review as part of the application resubmission.
Today, I'd like to talk to you guys about the preliminary onboarding. You've had your trainees match. Now what happens?